What's good, Pack Nation? Welcome to Packin with Gary. Listen, a lot of you have chimed in already, and I appreciate that. And I know a lot of us are hyped because we've been waiting. So before I even get on my soapbox, I'm gonna get to your comments. David always chiming in on time here. David Johnson says we have our 6'10" rim running project in the fold now, Gary. Hall brings athleticism to the post. Evan brings shot blocking. Jokovic brings perimeter shooting. Wilkins will bring interior play. Listen, David, you're right. We got it. Pretty much spoken into existence. Um, I mean, I've already said it. I'm not going to temper my excitement here. I'm hyped. And I get more hyped throughout the day as I start going through potentially what could happen. I'm hoping that this staff and Gainey gets creative and does more than what people are just thinking is going to happen, which is, Evans playing the five and maybe Hall backing him up, and that's it. Hoping they mix it up a little bit, but we shall see. David also says Wilkins, Hall, Jokovic, Evans, all four bring something different to the mix. All four can spare some minutes there as need. We have that UVA look about us. Go Pack. David, I'm feeling your excitement again. It is Go Pack. I would love for us to have that UVA type, swagger with us. We got the lineup. I mean, we look pretty decent and deep at each position. If these guys can play at high major level, right? I mean, I know that's what UVA did, but that's really the only minor concern I have right now is other than Paul, the rest of these guys are taking steps up, right? So we're going to see. But hopefully the chips on their shoulders will help them perform at a high level. That's what I'm looking forward to. Eddie Thomas chimed in, says very solid pickup for Gainey in the pack. Hope Shah will get to campus and start working out with the team. Hope to get to campus soon to start working out with the team. Yeah, they're talking, Corey at Pack Power just said that, it could be as soon as next week. So that's a plus. I would hate to see him commit and we just be sitting here waiting like, where is he at? So definitely looking forward to that. Seeing him in some videos doing something. David also says, no reason to have two bigs on the court at all times with this roster. I think Whitty and Wilkins were surprised this year. Listen, I'm already on the Wilkins train. It's talks of maybe he won't start. I don't buy it. I think by the end of the season, Wilkins gonna be a starter. That's just me. And I'm riding with that. Whitty. So David, I want to be with you on Whitty. I really like Whitty, but he got a lot in front of him, man. I mean, a whole lot. Like, it's a lot in front of him. I think Wilkins has a better shot at being a starter. Whitty, it's just so many. I mean, you got Ed Mead. I think what's his name? Comey. I think he might end up being ahead of him because he's a grown man. Then you've got, of course, Adams. Like, I don't know. It might be tough for him to get on the court. I've said that. But I'm hoping that you're right and he can, make a little splash his freshman year. Michael and Melanie, call me crazy, but something feels good about this pickup. See you in a minute, Michael and Melanie. Welcome back. Yeah, so, the pickup, I think, is decent. I understand everywhere he was going to be like a backup off the bench type player. But to me, my man, the way his body looked and his athleticism, I just feel like the ceiling is so high, right? if you can really teach this dude how to play defense, because maybe he's just been living off pure gifts, right? He's bouncier than most and longer than most, and he's just been using that. If you really teach him, and he's got a little bit of instinct in there, and he's able to rebound at a high level, I'm like, hey, this could be really, really big, right? It's not like we went and got like a Jordan Vandenberg or somebody like that that's just tall and there's a ceiling that's not that high. This guy, he could be, something big down the line. So I don't know if it's going to be this season. I don't know how fast Justin works when it comes to stuff like that. But considering the amount he spent on his assistant coaches and his pedigree himself, and you bring in a guy like this with these physical traits, hey, he don't even have to get in the weight room. He's already there. Like, as long as we can get the game to slow down for him, it might be a surprise here, guys. James Johnson, happy to have our 6'11 rim running project on board. I knew Justin would come up with someone to fill that void. Now that our roster is mostly set, let's coach up our projects and surprise some folks. I hear you, James. I'm with you on that. We got to get to it. David Johnson says, but like one more developmental big for injury purposes. Listen, we have enough guards, right? We don't need another guard. I'll take a forward that sort of like the Jurkovic dude that is like maybe you could try to play him at the 5, but I'd much rather have somebody else than play the 3-4. Anybody we get right now to play a big, probably, I don't know. They probably gonna be on some Abube type stuff where they not even gonna put him in the game, which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, you at this point with the amount of guards we already have in place, you can't have enough bigs. So I agree. If they want to go get one more, cool. But this one was so hard to come by. I'm not gonna be greedy. Like, I'm glad we got this one. To get it, if we were to land another one like that back to back, I'd be like, okay, Gainey, you cooking. Take your chef hat off. Like, you on another level, because we were struggling. I mean, y'all know we needed this. We were looking at a crazy season without it. Now that we got it, we can hold our head up a little bit. Foster says, you think Edmead, Hammond, or Paul can be a 16-plus point per game player? I'm worried we have a bunch of 12 to 14 point per game players like last year. If we don't have a dude, our ceiling is going to be limited. So look, here's the thing. We've done this before. So we've had teams that are balanced, right? Deep, balanced teams where you don't really have somebody gonna give you 16 plus. We can win like that. We can be okay. I don't expect us to. This is not our Final Four national championship year. We all know that. But our NCAA tournament year can be done with a balanced team. If you get 3 or 4 starters to give you 12 to 14, we're okay. But we do need to make sure out of those people that somebody knows who the star is, the leader, even though you're not dropping 20-some points a game. There's got to be a clear defined leader. I don't want somebody out there like, oh, it's 5 seconds left on the clock. We don't know who's going to take the last shot to win the game. That I don't want. Just because you average 14 points doesn't mean you can't separate yourself from your peers. I need whoever that is, and I'm not bought in it's going to be Paul, but I need somebody to be like, all right, I'm going to bail us out. Okay, maybe that's Edmead. The way they're talking about him, if that's going to be him, cool. But I need it to not be, each time we run a late game play in winning time, they're just somebody different. We trying to figure out who's gonna step up. That need to be figured out before the season start. Like, Gainey, please figure that out before the season start. I don't want to spend our preseason when we have all of probably our strongest games at home potentially, or I guess we're playing a lot of them so far at neutral site. I don't want to be trying to figure out who's going to be our go-to guy Hopefully we have one or two guys figured out by that point. But again, Foster, I'm cool with the 12 to 14. Paul could be it if he adds to his game, but we just don't know. That's a big if. It's a big if. Antoine, happy Juneteenth, G. Same to you, sir. Happy Juneteenth. All things considered, I think Gainey has put a solid roster together that I prefer top to bottom over last year's squad. Ooh, Antoine, you always come with the bars. Top to bottom, you prefer over last year's squad? I understand where you're at. I can't wholeheartedly agree because I believe if you give last year's squad to another coach, you get some different outcomes, right? I feel like they really took on the mentality of the coach. Like whenever he quit, they sort of quit. Like, I think overall the talent was just better on our last year's squad. Is the work ethic going to be better on this one? Are they going to play harder? They're going to be more bought in, more mentally tough? Maybe. And if so, I agree with you. I'll take that, but I don't know that just yet. On paper, if we're just looking on paper, I'm still taking last year over this year. We just didn't utilize last year the way we needed to. Foster says, I know you don't think Jurkovic is going to be a viable option because of his numbers and age, but Pack Insider says he's pushing to start over Ilaho. Thoughts? I was really excited for Euro guy, to be honest. I've seen them say that, right? I've seen everyone pretty much outside of me is like on this guy's bandwagon. Unless my eyes are fooling me, I'm not with it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I don't see. So first off, I'm hearing he's not even here yet. So to say that he's gonna start over Yalaho or what they call him as EY, I don't know how you come to that conclusion just yet, other than the fact that he's older and he's been playing professionally. But I'm telling you, when I look at this dude's highlights in this Euro League, forget his stats. When I'm looking at it, and we know how the ACC is, it's sort of like when you take a guy from college and he was All-American, right? He was getting busy. And then you put him in the NBA and he flops. It's not like he wasn't good, but there's levels to this, right? And I'm not saying the ACC is a higher level, but what I'm saying is the type of athlete he might see compared to what I saw he was playing against, like, it's just different. So he's gonna have to adapt. I don't think he's gonna come in just killing. And if he's able to adapt his game and be more like a more cerebral player that can, do things instead of trying, because they keep trying to say he's athletic, but he's not that athletic. Like the amount of time it's taking him to get up on the rim, as tall as he is, he's not that athletic. I'm telling you. So that's why I have my reservations. And I'm hoping I'm wrong. This would be a great time to be just y'all come up here and say, Gary, you was so wrong, dead wrong. And I'd be like, you know what? Y'all right. Appreciate the dub that they got last night when he had 30 or 15 rebounds or whatever it is. It's going to make us excited. But right now, I'm not buying it. David, one more thing he is not. He isn't Musa Sonya. He tries to unscrew the bolts from the rim when he dunks. Listen, I'm glad we're not getting another guy that's just tall and soft. Like we see this guy's physique, right? If he comes into the ACC, and I know it's levels up for him. If he comes to the ACC and we're looking at him like, are those blow up muscles? I'm gonna be tight. Okay. The show muscles for me, if it look like you just in the gym lifting to be lifting, and I don't see any of that physicality on the court, oh, I'm gonna be so tight. I am gonna be like, look, sit him down. Like, bring him in just to give old boy a rest to sit him down. But I don't think that's gonna be the case. I think you're right. He's gonna come in and be a force. And I hope it's so much of a force that we have the dilemma of who starts. How about that? Now that's being greedy for me to come in and hope he's a starter level player from JUCO ranks, right? But it's possible. We've seen it done before. James says this team is loaded with potential talent, right? Potential talent now. Yeah, fans need to get out and support this team. 10th place is all of the doubters in NC State. Is a believer he's setting this team up for success now and the future. Listen, James, this is a very good point. We do not have the flashiest roster when it comes to name recognizability. Like, it is not anyone other than Paul that you probably the average fan would know about. Um, but our fans got to come out. I'm begging y'all, come out to these games. Let's create the environment, if only to set up our recruiting for the incoming class next year, right? Gainey's trying to get these guys from in-state, and it's a lot of them that are highly, highly ranked out of North Carolina in this upcoming class. We need to set that environment because we already know what it's going to look like down the road for the other two schools, right? We got to make sure our stuff don't fall off just because he's a first-year coach and we didn't land any huge big names. When these guys start winning, we need to be there. And I really don't think we need to wait till they start winning. A lot of people I'm here talking about, oh, when they start winning, people will show up. In the meantime, though, what we doing? We just going to have them playing in a half-packed arena? I don't think that's how we should do our team. Like, we should show up from the beginning and be there as they're winning. My 2 cents. Appreciate that, James. Bradley says, I like this pickup. Have size and more options than just shooting. Exactly. The team reminds me of the 2015 team and went on to the Sweet 16 that year. Anya, Abu, Freeman, Washington. I think the balance will be there this year. Yeah, that was a fun team with those guys. James says Paul should be the leader. He knows our culture. He's getting paid the bags. Step up, Paul, will be that guy, unlike Darian Williams, who was a fake leader. Whew. Most of y'all know how I felt about Darian Williams and my frustration with him and him not wanting to be Batman. But I'm going to temper my expectations on Paul being a leader. Okay? You're right. James, you're so right. He should be the leader. But we done had 2 years to see this guy's personality. We done seen him. I've seen him do interviews. We seen how he moved in the offseason, where it's reports that he wanted to come back, but other people were pulling him in another direction. That's not leader. That's not leader stuff. That's not leader DNA, right? That's not having your mom or daddy in your ear, your agent in your ear trying to tell you this and that. It's not leader stuff if your heart is really in one place and you listening to all of that and you dragging your fans through it. And that's not, to me, is a huge red flag the way he handled the offseason, right? So I hope he grew from that. And you're right, he comes into the season like, yo, this is my team. This is how we gonna handle things. I'm gonna tell y'all how this rivalry goes and how Tobacco Road goes, yada yada. But I'm tempering my expectations. I mean, his personality doesn't give me a lot of confidence that it's gonna happen. Bradley says people expect McNeil to be more than what he was will get their feelings hurt. He'll be the 3-point specialist as his skill, but no go-to. We have to live in reality. Dad, Brad, I should have read your comment first. You're probably speaking facts, but I do feel that Gainey, if Gainey lets this guy just be a 3-point specialist, it's going to say a lot about his coaching ability early. Okay. If Paul does not come back this upcoming year with more in his bag and showing more on the court and running around chasing the three and getting some defensive rebounds every now and then, that's going to have me like, what were we doing development wise? How can you go to a high school or a kid's house and talk to him about you're going to make him better and get him to the league when he's going to leave the way that he was when he got to the school, right? No improvement. Paul has to improve under Gainey. He has to. It not only did Gainey say, look, this was important, I need to land him, but he needs to show Paul had his best year, and not only did he have his best year because we were giving him the ball, but he had more to his game after playing under me. That's perfect for your recruiting going forward. He cannot come back as just this 3-point specialist. Even though it's highly likely, I feel like he cannot do that if we want Gainey to be successful here and be able to coach past whatever little contract he's signed up front. Like, if we're going to give him limited resources to not just go out and buy his team, he's going to have to be strong at developing players. And allowing Paul to come back as the same specialist is not going to be it. James says, Will the Snake was very berating his own players. He knew he wasn't going to be here this year. Good riddance to Will the Snake Way. Facts. Jonathan, been a while. Gary, I think my questions right now are the 2 and the 4 spot. Where are your questions? So, Jonathan, my questions aren't really around, I guess it's sort of similar. It's not around if someone's good enough to play a certain position, it's around how they're going to play the players they have. Okay. Everybody keeps trying to talk about Hammond playing the 2. I don't like it. I do not like Paul McNeil at the 3. And if you really want to have a good defensive team, you can't have those 3 guys. You can't have Ed Mead, Paul, and Hammond on the court at the same time. And with Paul playing at 3. I don't like it. Your perimeter defense is going to be trash. I don't care like how great of a defensive coach you are. It's just not ideal for a defensive team, right? You got an elite shooter that you're going to have playing the 3, that you need him, more fresh on the other end. So he's not locking up. Okay. So unless you're playing some zone most of the time, that's not ideal. You have a smaller guard. Okay. He might be able to get up in people's pockets and whatnot, but you still don't want to wear him out running the point. And then you have Hammond, who I guess could be okay defensively if you work on it. But out of those 3, Paul was supposed to be the best defender. I don't like it. So I'd like Ed Mead to start, put Paul at the 2. You now have the bodies that you can play. You bring Hammond off the bench. Or if you got to bring him off the bench because I believe your 3 has to be either EY, it has to be maybe Keen. I don't know if you want to, put him in there since he probably helps on lineup because he doesn't need the ball, right? And then you play Mikey or maybe we play Evans and Hall at the same time. Like, who knows? But my thing is these 2 in the 4 spot. The 4 I'm good with. We got a whole lot of options we could put in the 4. That 2, Paul needs to be at the 2. And then you can back him up with Adams, or maybe bring Adams in at the 3, or you back him up with Hammond. But yeah, as everyone is reporting, I know all the sites are saying, oh, it's going to be Ed Mead, Hammond, Paul. Don't like it. Eddie Thomas says there is lots of flexibility and potential with this roster, lots of competition for playing time. It would be nice to have options. It will be nice. But it's always nice to have options when the options are utilized. And that's what I want to see. I want to see Gainey show us, look, I went and got this type of team because I plan on using what I have. Not because I got it for just in case if somebody get hurt or foul trouble, yada, yada. But my thing is let's say Paul goes out there and he's like, look, I'm not playing D. Do we just keep him in the game because he can shoot the 3? Because now you got shooters everywhere. So if he's not locking up or doing his defensive responsibility, is Gainey going to be willing to be like, come sit over here beside me so you can get a better sense of what's going on since you don't want to play defense, since you want to miss your assignment? If he's going to have that approach, I get super excited because like you said, we got some flexibility. Paul, you can come sit over here with us. I know you're making all that money, but you can come over here and go on vacation for a little bit since you don't want to play D. I need that type of attitude from Gainey, and I'm hoping he holds these guys to such a high standard on defense that guys just can't go out there and do what they want to. David says these players are going to have a chip on their shoulder, Project Layton or not. I trust Gainey to make 5 stars look like 2 stars. Okay. Bob, I'm excited. I said it early. You might have gotten here a little bit late. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I'm not going to temper my excitement. I can only get more excited from here. Okay. I had mentioned, maybe you all are going to ask me where I thought we were going to end up in the conference. Before this pickup, I'm like 10th. Now this might be like a 4-spot move. Okay. I think now we're solidly 6. And that's just assuming the guy can come in and get a couple rebounds and block a shot every now and then. If he comes in and needs more than that, of course, that number goes up for me. If Wilkins begins to do so much that he's a starter, that number goes up for me. And these are, I know, a lot of ifs, but I'm letting you know where I'm at. If Paul McNeil comes back and is putting the ball on the floor and getting to the rim, not only shooting threes, getting to the free throw line, oh, man, that number goes up for me again. So, yes, my excitement is there, Bob. Hey, I'm on the wagon. Everybody get on. I'm here. Johnson says, I agree. I hate Hammond at the 2. Thank you, man. We normally see eye to eye on a lot of stuff, so I'm glad you're with me on that. David Johnson says, Gainey will have to win with the projects to make his mark at first at NC State. As he wins, then players will come. They should keep 2 bigs on the floor at all times. They should. I mean, the ACC, that's how you're going to have to do it. David also says, I agree with Yalaho at the 3. We have the size. Use it. Exactly. Why play small if you don't have to? I get if you're playing your best players, cool. But at the same time, let's create some mismatches. Let's create better matchups for us. You can't tell me that there's if you play Paul McNeil at the 2, that's not going to cause a problem for most teams in the ACC. When you have a 3 that's bigger than him and a 4 that's bigger and a 5 that's bigger, like a lot of these teams still have 2 guards that aren't quite as long as him. But when you play him at the 3, now they just put another guy there, move the smaller guy to the 2, and then you don't create the problems. So I'm hoping Gainey is like really, really looking at this game and actually coaching out there. I hope he goes out there and he's switching stuff up. Like it's not the same starting 5 every game. It's like, oh, I need this 5 because of who we're playing. Like I need the adjustments. I need to see the coaching happen in real time. I'm really looking forward to that. I believe he's going to do that, and that also has me excited. James says, this team is versatile. We can play offense and defense a variety of ways. I believe in Justin and the schemes he will have at his disposal. They have size this year and shooting. Let's go, James. Fingers crossed, man. Eddie Thomas says, I do think Gainey will hold his guys accountable. Must play both ends of the court or you will sit. The bench serves as good motivation. Yes, it does. And I'm hoping you're right. Like, Justin, I understand you said that the guys don't play hard. We're asking you, if they're not, please sit them jokers down. Sit them down. You got the team to sit them down. Like, there's not a huge gap between all these players. So let's go. Create that competition, man. Clyde Gaddis said, you said y'all go finish 6th in the ACC. Who in front of y'all? Oh, Wolfpacker. Okay. I've seen you in here before, Clyde. So I don't know if you're a USC fan or Duke fan, but so I'm going to say Duke's in front of us. Probably Louisville's in front of us. Miami's probably in front of us. I'll just say maybe Carolina's in front of us. Virginia, those are probably my 5. That is 5, right? Duke, Carolina, Virginia, Miami, Louisville. Those are probably my 5 in front of us. And I think like right after or in that mix is going to be who we're battling for 6th. Is going to be like Florida State, Clemson. Those are probably my only 2, Florida State and Clemson. I'm not sure how good Syracuse is going. Maybe Pitt. I know Pitt did a little bit of wiggling in the offseason. That's my numbers right there for those teams. David Johnson, I think this is a 9-man rotation that will bode well on a long season. Okay. Bob says Jerkovic could be like an Ilya Eptimov. He could. I mean, he could. Bob, if you haven't heard, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of his game right now, and I'm just waiting for him to prove me wrong. But you're right. He could be that. Eddie Thompson says, seeing this team work in practice will definitely help Gainey sort out the lineup and fine-tune their roles. Absolutely. Clyde Gaddis says, I think Duke going to the ACC while go season basketball. I don't know what that means. I'm pretty sure you just saying Duke going to pretty much win the regular season and be first. Because I think everybody knows that this upcoming year anyway. It's been like that for a while now. Pitt maybe. Yeah, Pitt. You know, I'm not putting Pitt in front of us. I think they'll be in the mix, maybe like one behind us or something like that. But at this point, I can't put dang, I forgot your boy's name, the coach. I know you're on a hot seat. Y'all can give me his name. I forgot his name. I'm not putting him in front of us, no matter how suspect our team could be. Like, I just won't do it. Oh, Clyde, Georgia Tech. My bad. I mean, no disrespect. I just knew you weren't a fan of ours. So, Georgia Tech, how you feel about your team? Capable. That is yeah, Jeff Capel. Thank you. Um, Foster says, I would agree with EY at the three, but we have four guards that I think are all relatively interchangeable in terms of production. I don't think we went and got Hammond and Adams to sit on the bench. Um, so here's the thing. One of them we got to go sit on the bench. And I mean, of the two, Adams is supposed to be the one with the most potential. And I think that's the one that everybody's projecting is going to come off the bench. So I hear you, but both of them can't start. And Ed Mead is, from all accounts, solidified himself at the point. Paul, we know, is going to start. So we're not starting for guards, especially little ones like that. So yeah, one of them definitely coming off the bench, if not both. I hope both of them are like, look, I play starter minutes maybe, but starting both of them, nah. So yeah, I told y'all my 2 cents, man. You know, y'all haven't told me where you think we're going to end up at now that we have our big, right, our backup big, and we still could potentially go get another one if we want to be greedy. You know, as fans, it's like, oh, we need one more just in case. It's a possibility. But where you see us at right now, ending up in the ACC, do we have a tournament team in your eyes? Right, the tournament has been expanded. So are we good now? Do we feel comfortable? Right? Y'all let me know. Hammond and Adams both capable of being combo guards. Absolutely. Which David has me feeling like I can't get hype about Whitty getting burned because you take Ed Mead out, you want a backup point guard, you can bring in Adams. You can bring in Hammond. Right? Like I said, you got the Comey guy. Like it's just I don't see how he can get on the court. David says fifth or sixth, Gary, in the standings. Okay, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at, David. Anybody else got something different? I don't want to clarify if I haven't already. That fifth and sixth, I don't feel we have to overachieve to get that with our current team. If we overachieve, we talking top four, right? All we need is Carolina to trip up. I don't think there's much we're going to do about Duke and Virginia being ahead of us because Virginia was already on another level. And Duke, we know, is on another level. So outside of them two, you know, Miami on paper looks to be pretty good, right? So maybe that's your three. And then if we surprise people and people have gotten better or transition to this level at a higher rate than what we thought was going to happen, meaning we have two or three of these mid-major guys play at a decent level in the ACC, then hey, maybe we surprise somebody and slide into that four. But I think sixth is we just do what we need to do, and we'll be all right. Glad you're not feeling good about your team, huh? I know y'all had a coaching change. I don't know who your coach is now down there at Tech. David says if Whitty kicks ass in practice, who knows? I hear you. I think it might be tough for him to do that though. But you're right. It's what he can show in practice. Slide himself in there. James says, I'm projecting 4th to 5th place is my projection for this team. Okay. Justin is going to silence all doubters. I expect this team to be elite defensively. We're going to roll for sure. Woo, James. Okay, James. I see you're pretty bought in right now, which is cool. I like it. I like the energy. I'm gonna tag along. Uh I can't quite get with the elite defensively because I don't feel like he has the personnel for it. I know I'm not saying he don't have the knowledge and his ability to teach defensive schemes, but even with that, you gotta have a little bit of gift in there on your lateral quickness and length. And I'm just, yeah, I mean, the best defensive lineup for him is probably going to be one that isn't his best offensive lineup or his best players he's going to end up starting. So, and then we have to think about if he doesn't play both shot blockers at the same time, how elite defensively can you be? Right? If you play Evans and he's slender and he's getting moved around in the paint, and then guards are just coming in there doing whatever, or he's getting called for fouls and he's in foul trouble. Like, I don't know about the elite defensively, just because I don't have confidence that the guards can keep people in front of them at an elite level, the ones that we have so far. Clyde asked me, well, what you got Georgia Tech at in AC? I couldn't even tell you, Clyde, because I don't know much about what Georgia Tech has going on. I know you had a lot of transfers out. And then I also don't know who your coach is at this point because y'all fired Stoudemire, right? So I think he went with Wade or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have you very high. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I don't have you high. Probably not in the first 10, 11 spots. It says, if you're not Duke, I'm not afraid of anyone else. Well, listen, I'm not afraid of even Duke because we know, like, except for this year, because we don't have them at home. But there's been times when Duke has clearly been way better than us, and we could still snipe them and get a dub. In this scenario, we don't get play them at home, so it's probably going to be a problem going to Cameron. But like catching them in the ACC tournament or something like that, I'm not scared of Duke. I just think it'd be a very tall task to beat them with our team this year. It would be impressive if Gainey pulled that off on a neutral site. Clyde, I'm only putting this up here, Clyde, because I feel like this is a phenomenal joke that you just told, and I want everybody to see it. Because I didn't see the laughter in the chat after you said this. Clyde says, y'all keep on talk about Duke basketball. What about Georgia Tech? It's just as good as Duke. I know that was like the dry humor above people's head joke. So that's why I'm putting it on here so people can get it and have a chuckle. Eddie Thomas says, optimistic. Feels like we could be in the upper half of the ACC in a tournament team. But I want to see how the summer goes and hear what the coaches think they have. The ceiling is I can't believe you put that in there. Anyway, so yeah, Eddie, I hear you. And I do look forward to, hearing the feedback. Same way we've been hearing a little bit about Agmead. Ready to hear about some other players. It's right now we just gotta wait and see, right? But it's a good wait because we were nervous. But we got our backup big, and Hopefully he's not like Musa and it's just a complete flop. But yeah, we shall see. David says, I think the depth this year, we can play at a high level on the defensive end. Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. So yeah, on paper, we should be able to do that, right? You have enough players at each position to not be wore down on defense. But we know all these coaches keep daggone playing these short rotations, right? Majority of them do that. They shorten their rotation, which causes these players to play more fatigue if they're not in elite shape. And so, and even those in elite shape get tired. So it's like it's going to come down to roster management and how he utilizes who he's went out and got. We'll see. But you're right. It's there. It's there for the taking. So, yeah, I mean, we've talked about where we think our team is going to be. Okay. Um, we got two bigs that are defensive minded. That's great. We probably got some power forwards that are more offensively minded. That's cool. Our three spot is probably the weakest part of our team at this point, which is fine. We don't really need our three spot to be doing nothing crazy. Our two spot should be decent. And the point guards, I mean, our point guard spot should be fine, right? So overall, we got some stuff to be hype about. And we still could add a player or two. So I had to see what you all were thinking, right? I could tell everybody has your hype, and some of you are more hyped than me, which is crazy to believe. But I'm glad to know that we don't feel like, oh, it's a wrap, because we had some gloomy weeks, right? We were talking and it was like, I don't know. We need that room running project and we need another big and yada yada. So we're here. Oh, y'all had a lot come through just then. Let's see. Do you think they will rotate 4 bigs? No, I don't. Like, it's probably going to be three max, right? If you play 2 bigs at one time, you're probably rotating 1 big for either one. As for 2 in, 2 out, nah, I don't. I would like it, but I'm not even gonna get my hopes up about that, David, to be honest. Like, hey, as long as we're not playing an undersized 5, like that's what I was concerned about. Putting Jurkovic or who else were they talking about putting at the 5 potentially? I guess Mikey a little bit. Like, I don't like that. I don't put any 6'9" guys, 6'8", 6'9" guys at the 5. We it's not gonna work. We had a Lubin and we didn't get him any help, and we see how that played out. Everybody's doesn't have that type of motor and efficiency around the rim. And even him, he was not a defensive anchor. So when you get somebody short like that, you know your defense about to be trash. So yeah. MK Sneeze says we don't know. It is possible Jurkovic and Hall may start. So MK Sneeze, I know that you are just getting in here because I've clearly said I'm not a Jurkovic fan. Waiting for him to prove me wrong. If he starts, that's gonna be concerning for me. at the beginning. Now Hall starting, I think is promising because it's like, oh, we know physically he was there, and if he's at a point where he can actually be a starter, that's phenomenal. But yeah, Jurkovic, I'm just I ain't gonna put no any more disrespect on his name than what I already have. I'm just not a fan so far. David says if Adam hits Gary at the three, we good. Yeah, yeah. It, like, look, Adams and Dagon Wilkins, if they could really, and now Hall, I think those three have the opportunity to really, really surprise and push us to a whole nother level. Okay. Those three we not really expecting a whole lot out of. But if they happen to be a lot better than what we think, it's game changers. You bring a former McDonald's All-American that can play to that level after the freshman year he had, like his potential is crazy. And I'm like, of all the people on the bench, he's the one that I'm like, look, he could start. He could flat out start. And I don't care whose spot he took. Like, even if Paul got to go sit down, he got to go sit down. I know we spent all this money on him, but look, you can't obviously play him at the three. That way you can keep Paul in there. But if for some reason EY is just perfect at the three, and you're like, where are we gonna put Adams at? Hey, Paul, you better get right, because that boy got a lot in his game, and it may get unlocked. You need somebody to have you looking over your shoulder. David says it's a new energy around the program, Gary. So people are excited. I hope they are. I hope that excitement turns into attendance. Okay. I want to say, David, listen, I don't know if you're a season ticket holder, how many games you go to, but our student section is weak. Let me tell you, it's so weak. I have never in my life seen the student section in college basketball so weak. We might as well be Wake Forest. Like, they're just there. They stand up sometimes. I mean, maybe we need to take these chairs away. I don't know, but the energy is not there for our students. We gotta improve that going into this year and forward. Like, that's where the recruits sit at. They sit down there in that vibe, and the vibe is weak. When you gotta check your student section, that's a problem. And if students watching this, I hope y'all understand. Like, we're what are we doing? Like, y'all have to be the energy. You're young, you got all the energy. Use it at these games, please. David says, I love the portal NIL. How would you build a roster this quick, this good? Yeah. I mean, the portal definitely helps as long as we continue to have the money to do stuff like this. Like, we should have been able to do more, but it's cool. We got what we got. So going forward, hopefully people are more bought in and we get some more NIL and our bigger donors are able to make stuff happen for us. But yeah, it definitely allows you to not have to wait years to get better. It's a huge plus. Oh, Dave, you're in Virginia. Okay. Gotcha. That's a little tough. Two a year. That's pretty good. Making 2 games a year living in Virginia. So let me ask y'all, Pack. So, there was a time a couple weeks ago, I guess as soon as he signed, when everybody was like RJ King, the glue guy, and that's all they could talk about. Um, is there any chance he starts, or do you think he still comes off the bench? That's what I want to know. Because for me, I have, just to give you all a percent, I have more confidence in King being a bigger contributor than I do Jurkovic. And I'm not even just talking about points. I just mean contributor, period. Um, Keen is putting himself as the guy really that does not need the ball, that's going to do the little things, and he's going to play defense, right? I feel that guy is going to do more than Jurkovic because Jurkovic's game looks like it needs to be him being a stretch four, I guess. He posts up, he got a little bit of post up game. I don't see him as a lob threat. I seen him dunk, but not a lob threat. That'd probably be more of Hall. So with that, you got all them other shooters on the floor. We really don't need your big butt out there shooting threes. But you know, if that's what he's gonna do, that's what he's gonna do. I just feel like Keen, it would be a little bit more. Oh, David, listen. David says, Keen, if he started, we are in trouble. Fact. I said it a long time ago. If he ends up being a starter, that means I feel like EY is just not who we thought he was. But I'm convinced EY is going to be a taller Darian Williams. Okay? Think about it. Darian was supposed to be the level of, ACC Player of the Year, but he wasn't. And I think EY is going to come in and be the Darian Williams we saw, right? Which I can accept because you're not supposed to be him, okay? You're not supposed to be the guy. You're just supposed to be a guy that every now and then might help us, take advantage of a mismatch or you're just a guy out there to play a role, which is what Darian Williams ended up being because he was not ready to be a star. If he's a taller version of that guy, I take it all day. And that's what I think he's going to be. So that's why I think Keen has no chance of starting. But I wanted to know, y'all's 2 cents. I think this is Alex Play. Alex Plays. Is Hall the one we were going against Cal Prairie to get? Yeah, but I think so. I'm giving Gainey the win in this recruiting battle, but it sounds like maybe they pivoted, and when they did that, it allowed Gainey to go ahead and scoop up Hall. But I'm like, did they pivot because they sort of felt that we had the advantage? So I'm giving it to Gainey, being like, oh, he pulled this one off. That's how I want to think about it. Alex says, also, I've been kind of behind on recruiting this year. How good is the team so far? So Alex, that's what we're talking about. We're saying that we're probably projecting around 6th in the ACC to finish with our team right now. We've got at least two players at every position. Okay. We've got plenty of shooting. We're going to be a high-level shooting basketball team. So we can shoot the three. And then we have bigs in the post that can block shots. So our center can block shots. Our backup center can block shots. Really don't have a lot of offense in the paint like that. So that maybe is going to end up being a concern depending on how the guards can get to the paint. And defensively, some feel we're going to be elite. Some feel we'll be decent. I myself think it's going to depend on the systems that Gainey puts in place, whatever his defensive schemes are going to be. Because the guards we have aren't elite defenders, or so should I say they were not elite defenders where they came from. Last year of all of them, Paul would have been graded the best, and we know how that looked. So we shall see. Eddie Thomas says, heard anything about a new schedule edition, not Tennessee, at a neutral site that's supposed to be a fun game for us? No, I've heard the tease of it. I've heard the tease of there's, something coming down the pipeline, but I have no idea. what this new potential game on the schedule is going to be. Foster says, if Jurkovic had a nice post game, would that earn him some minutes? Probably. That's, to me, I feel like that's what's going to separate Zamika. I feel like Mikey's going to come in the game and you're going to be able to throw him the ball in the post and he get a bucket. Everybody else, it's going to be like, maybe, but I think that's what's going to separate them. Oh, we need to get some buckets in the paint. Put them in. Let them get, a couple body blows in there, get them a layup or two. Who knows? But I would only think if he had a post game that we felt super confident that would get him minutes. I just don't want him out there floating around shooting a three with all the rest of them dudes because we got plenty of shooting. Alice said, we're going dancing. I think so. I think it's very likely now that we make the tournament, barring we stay healthy. I don't see a scenario where we don't get in with our current team. We would have to really flop with the players we have, which would not be good for season one for Gainey. Like, that's not going to be good for recruiting either. Or donations or NIL, anything. Alex says, I feel like if Gainey works in the offensive post game, like fadeaways and pump fake finishes, the offensive post wouldn't be too bad. So I want to be clear. I don't think the post is going to be bad, right? I think what we're looking at is our strength being shooting. Obviously, they're D1 athletes. It's going to be somebody that's able to get a jump hook in or something like that. But we don't have any DJ Burns level back to the basket players on our team right now. That's what I'm saying. Where you really, post him up and everybody spread out and wait for if a double team is sent or even need a double team. I don't think we have anybody on our squad right now that's going to need a double team. Other than maybe Paul. I can see them trying to flash at Paul to make him pass the ball or something like that. But right now, I don't see no doubles coming from anywhere. All right, Pack. Well, we've been on here an hour. I appreciate y'all for chiming in. Happy Juneteenth. If you haven't done so before, please share this channel with your Wolfpack family. Let's get the word out. It's really just here for y'all to tell your 2 cents, instead of just putting it in a message board. We're going to talk about it, right? We want to hear your perspective. Till next time, Pack Nation, please, like, subscribe. Go Pack.